to the shit show.
I'm excited. It is another week of the All Elite Wrap-Up. Today is May 8th, 2025. It is Thursday night. This is our normal night and time. Well, it's not our normal time, however. It's our normal night. It's not our normal time. We're going 2 hours later, and that's because Collision. We're doing another one of these back-to-back, right? Like, they go, hey, pretend the NBA Finals isn't bumping us, and we're doing it. We're coming to your town. We're giving you 2 back-to-back shows. Yay!
Which, I mean, doesn't suck. You know what
it works.
I mean?
It works better. Again, you think of, like, Collision, like, I know they tape it in advance, so they're not sitting there live waiting to go, but, like, it's the whole, like, you know, if the game's going to overtime, now we're not starting until 10:30, and that kind of sucks, you know?
I thought tonight was live.
Oh, well, yeah, tonight was live, but, like, normal Collision, right?
Yeah.
On Saturday nights, right? The one that would get bumped for some of these
Yes.
playoff
I got what
games,
you're saying.
right?
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Yeah, I think they should go to Tuesday nights, Collision, and then Dynamite on Wednesday. Wednesday still is your signature show.
Always keep it back to back.
Tuesday, Wednesday. What the fuck else? Name anything good that's ever happened on a Tuesday night.
The problem you run into is, so they do the taping for Collision at Dynamite, and then that would be a whole week behind. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. They go to a real city every time on Collision. Collision's its own thing.
No, they're not doing that. They're not doing that.
No,
now. They're not doing the Collision tapings at the.
No, they created Collision because CM Punk couldn't be with the Bucks.
But I thought when that was done, I thought they were done.
No. The only thing they were taping like back to back were Rampages, and Rampage is gone. So yeah, no, they go to
Rampage.
Yeah, no, they do a different city. Yeah,
that's hard though. That's again back to back nights, right? So you'd have to be close cities, right? You'd have to really be on top of that.
Not really, because they have a big enough roster. You could have Daniel Garcia and FTR and Fresno, and you could have.
But like you're not going to get the Tony Storm on both shows if you don't.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. Those vets that were like doing the Japan trip, you know, every other weekend. Those people are fine going LA to New York. Yeah, they're totally fine there.
They know what can keep them awake and get to the next town.
Yeah, fuck, good. Yeah. Cocaine is what you're saying.
Bad. I didn't say it was bad.
Yeah. I'm so tired of people villainizing. And then who was it the other day? Oh, I saw that one of the recently released females from WWE joined OnlyFans, and people are like, oh yeah, and I'm just like,
well,
but you're also, but then the other thing is like the same people that are like, oh my god, blah, blah, are the same ones that my point a few weeks back when MJF gave the women to the Hurt Syndicate, those are the same ones who are like, oh, this is so tacky and stuff. It's like, no. You can't vilify a woman for doing the OnlyFans thing, but then be like, but they deserve better. No, fuck you.
Yeah,
like they do deserve better. Hold on, don't clip that. They do deserve better. But what I'm saying is, stop vilifying sex work or fucking photo work. I don't know what you would call OnlyFans, but you get what I'm saying. Whatever that is.
Well, I mean, but
stop it.
No,
stop it. You fucking goofs. We watch men and women, but predominantly men historically in pro wrestling, bare chested, stripped to the waist in their underwear, wrestling.
Listen, I told you I have figured out the secret to success here, and we have not yet engaged and deployed this, but we could be an overnight success. We would be very rich if we just did this podcast exactly the same way, Tom. Nothing changes except we kick back up and just put our bare feet up on the table here in front of the camera. We'll be rich overnight.
Everyone, all right, I'm just going to throw this to you being dead serious. Everyone loves my feet. I have the smoothest feet this side of the Mississippi, easily. Everyone loves my feet. They're so smooth. They're manicured. They look great. Everyone loves my feet.
I gotta believe you. Like you had this whole. You didn't come up with this. This is an improv right here.
Oh yeah. This is dead. Every grappling class that I've been in, every boxing class, kickboxing.
I just picture this thing where you got this guy like in a headlock and his head's all down and he's all scrunched up and he's like, "Bro,
Yeah.
You got gorgeous feet, Tom.
Yeah, well, they always talk. Typically, they say about how smooth my feet are because when you drill and like you got to move them to the side, they're like, wow, and I'm like,
Do
yeah.
you moisturize?
And I don't, and I don't. And then here's the other thing, and this is honestly, again, I've got another compliment about this, but women started bringing this up before I noticed that. I have the softest elbows too. If you were to feel my elbows, look at this soft.
So Tom, then this only solidifies my idea. Like we're gonna be overnight rich here if we're just gonna do the show, kick back up, feet up, but we'll put that on the Patreon. That's the pay for version of the show. Like Tom's, I did not in any way, in any part of my existence, think I'm gonna get Tom's bare feet up on the goddamn show tonight. Look, Tom, you do got very smooth feet. Look at that. I'm honestly very impressed. They're very clean. They're very smooth.
They're the best. They're the best.
See, that's a teaser. More to come on our Patreon.
Yeah.
All right, if you're listening back on the podcast and you're wondering, how can I see this? You should have joined us live. We do this live every week, Thursday nights, normally 7:15-ish in the 1 true time zone, Central Time. But we went late because of Collision. And so to make up for that, we showed you Tom's beautiful feet. And you could have seen it here live with us. And a plus of being here live with us is you can join in the chat. I see some people are here viewing, watching us live right now. This is at 3 million, I think it says, are watching us live. Maybe, it's hard to read sometimes without my glasses, but there's at least 3 million watching us. You could chat with us live, Tom. Chat with us live. And maybe tell Tom how great his feet look, right?
Yeah, give me your honest opinion because I'm okay with it. And they are great. Like, great feet.
Yeah.
Great feet.
This is interesting. I wonder if we're going to get banned from YouTube now. All right, so Tom.
Yeah, right. They're going to be like, excuse me, we don't really care too much for this wrestling, but could you just talk about your feet again?
Listen, we saw a sudden traffic spike at about 9:20. So we went back and looked, and this is considered pornography in 17 states, so we had to take this off.
But we're also kind of into it, so just don't do it again.
But we handed this over to the Twitch folks. They're really into this.
They're really loving this.
So
yeah, man.
You could chat live with us. We want you to do that. As we're going through this show, we want you to talk to us. We want to make friends. I don't know if our usual suspects will be here because we're going live late, but join in either way. Usual suspects, non-usual suspects, we want to talk to you. We're friends now. You don't have a choice in this, so you got to talk to us.
Come on. Yeah, man. How are things otherwise? You doing well? Life is good?
I am busy. Swim Trunk is graduating next week, and so we've got family coming in this weekend, and so we've been doing all the
This weekend?
This weekend, yep.
Is the party?
It's Saturday, and then he walks
graduates
on Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
On a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday. This is how bad our school district is. They put it on a Tuesday on the Mother's Day weekend. Like, good job, folks. Right? Like, as if people don't have enough, scheduling shit to deal with that, right? So, yeah. So we've been doing all that, right? Doing all the, you got to do the deep cleanings that you haven't done, right? For guests and stuff like that. For family that you haven't seen in years. And then you got to coordinate all the, where are we at? What are we eating? Who's going to be here? And then run around and all that. And then we got some new furniture because the old furniture was ugly and we got to rerun that, right? Can't have that. Can't have people see the furniture that we looked at for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Got to change that.
Yeah. Tomorrow, speaking of things coming up, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., tickets go on sale for the first ever GCW show in Kansas City at the Truman. Huh?
You're scoring them?
Oh, yeah.
Send you the money?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You're getting front row?
Definitely. I'm going to try. I blocked off my calendar, so.
I don't know how well that, yeah. Sometimes that's hard to accomplish, right?
But I got second row because I didn't want front row, but I got second row on Tuesday. Dan Soder. Do you know who Dan Soder is?
Yeah, no, I know Dan Soder. Yeah.
He's coming to the Uptown, but it's November 21st. He was called the Golden Retriever of Comedy, so that's what the tour is called, the Golden Retriever of Comedy.
That's nice. Yeah.
And
he's a wrestling fan, or at
least
wrestling old-time wrestling fan. Yeah.
No, is
he still
legit.
current day watch?
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah. He could definitely talk to you.
I knew he talked about all the old stuff. I just didn't know if he still watched current day.
Yeah. I think he's obviously more busy, so he probably just catches the major stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, with WWE specifically, you could just
Yeah.
watch one highlight package and you get it. So
Yeah.
it's not like
The
you're
fun story
too
from
far
him
off.
that I always caught was like he was best friends growing up with Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the
Yeah.
Dolphins. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike McDaniel was the ball boy for the Denver Broncos. And they didn't offer him a head coaching position. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why, conspiracy theory, if you believe in this one, that's why he ran up the score on the Broncos when they
The
scored 70 whatever.
game, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's
I
like,
remember
fuck
seeing
you
that.
guys.
It was like that was first week of the NFL season, if I remember correctly, or it was like week 1 or week 2 or something like that. It was very early.
It was
in the season.
early.
Yeah.
It was the week here was special because it was the first Taylor Swift game because I was at that. It was against the Bears.
Well, I remember I was on a flight for some reason, like coming back home during that week, and so I was like just looking at scores, and I kept like that when I like scrolled back, and I was like, hold on, what? And I was like 70, nah, right? I was like, they fucked that up, right? Nah. And then I was like, are the Dolphins for real? And then I should know.
No,
better.
we laughed. I remember. So obviously everyone was in a frenzy for the Taylor Swift thing, but in between timeouts they'll show you the scores around the league, right? And I remember distinctly people were kind of giggling because they thought they messed up on the scoreboard. Like someone hit a 7 instead of a 3 or whatever.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And yeah, that's where
That's what I was like. I was like, they meant 27, not 72
yeah.
or whatever.
yeah, nope, they totally meant 77. But yeah, so got tickets for Dan Soder, gonna get tickets for GCW.
That's gonna be insane at the Truman, right?
At the Truman. Have you been to the Truman?
I think so. Didn't you do an event there that I emceed?
I've never been
Where
there.
did we do? There was one in
Truman
Independence.
Memorial is in Independence.
Okay.
The Truman
You're
is in
right.
Kansas City. Apparently, it's a huge warehouse that like music venues, or for music venues or for music shows. It's the
Okay.
venue. There you go. I'm professional. They do it
I
there.
think I have seen one thing there recently. I'm trying to remember what I saw with my wife there. Because I remember being like, oh, okay, I don't think I've actually been in here, right? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's downtown, right? Like downtown.
Come on, downtown, where the fun's at. Speaking of fun, Tim, last night and tonight, as you mentioned, we had AEW television. Tonight was Collision, so we're going to talk about that. And then anything we don't get to, we'll talk about Dynamite the previous night. So tonight, I wanted to say last night, but tonight, we kicked off with the best professional wrestler on the face of this earth and any other galaxy, the women's world champion, Toni Storm. And she comes out from underneath this little, balcony. No, well, it's not a balcony.
Yeah.
It's like a Taz screwed this up, and then someone joked around that he kept on calling it like a balcony gimmick, but it's called a box seats. The box seats.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
She came up from the box seats and basically said, bring it, bitches. What'd you think of the opening promo?
She's really leaning into the innuendo-laden promos, right? Like this stuff was great, like the 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time. Yeah,
Sometimes objects.
Yeah, random objects, like really into it. And I mean, she's just the world on fire for Toni Storm, right? Like she's so good at everything.
The only thing that's a disservice to her, and maybe we'll get there when we go to the road to All In, but it feels like she's the only one in the women's division that's hitting at that level. Typically, again, let's just go over to WWE for a quick second. When Cody, who I wasn't bought into, but obviously viewership and ticket sales and all that stuff said otherwise. When Cody was riding hot, you still had the bloodline. So you had another thing that was like, okay, then we're going to put these two together. Right now, Toni Storm is like, as Will Ospreay says, on another level than like everyone else. And Mercedes Moné included. And again, maybe we'll get that All In or something. But I just wish that Toni Storm had a second Mariah May, because Mariah May, that last chapter, she was doing just as well. But yes, since Toni,
right now we're doing this fill-in where it's just kind of like all right, eliminators every night, which is a fine championship run for fill-in, right? We were like, well, who are you going to put her up against? Well, now you can put her up against a bunch of randos because it's just this idea that like the title's not on the line, but you could earn a title chance. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of works. But yeah, there's no end game for this. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no purpose.
Yeah, and so I just wish that she had someone else. Again, hopefully, and who knows if this will happen or not. Hopefully, Mariah May comes back and was like, "Oh, part 2. This isn't a final chapter.
Well,
We're going after this for life."
We could really get something out of it.
Willow!
I mean, Willow. One of them would have to do something different because Willow is again
Correct.
the best, but
Yep.
someone would have to, unless it's just a tournament. Now, again, I could believe a tournament, right? Hey, tournament winner is Willow.
Yeah, but I do feel like it would hit home more if Willow somehow, and I just don't think I don't think we're gonna buy into the heel Willow going against this Tony Storm.
No.
So Tony Storm would have to play the heel, right?
Mhm. I would
And
think
I'm
so.
confident she could do it, right? She could still maintain this character and be a little less endearing, right? Have us laughing, giggling less, but we're still gonna like her. But she could at least play the role better of like that Willow has to overcome this, dastardly timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah, if she get, and one of the easiest angles could just be she's now jealous, right? Hey, I'm not having Mariah May part 2 happen. I see this girl's coming up. We
Willow's
ain't
getting
being friends.
All this
Yep.
fandom, everybody loves her.
Yep. Last time I took a shine to some young talent, they
this
screwed
is
me
it.
over,
No, this is it. So Willow leans back into the like nothing matters smile anyway, right? And big into the smiles, and then have Tony Storm just at some point be like, "You can't smile forever," right? Like nothing of true pain, true heartache, right? You know what I mean? Like, how would I have become such a great actress if I didn't feel the pain and the heartache? Like, I'll make you not smile, right? And then that becomes a thing. Like, I'm going to break her smile, and Willow can keep smiling anyway, right?
Just keeps on going. I mean, yeah, that would be cool too. But Willow would be a good one to potentially come
I
up.
think you've got enough fan support with that one, right? Like, that's Willow. That feels big enough of people would be like, yeah, we want her to win this, right?
Yeah, yes, I love Willow. I still think, we did somewhat the debut of Mercedes wrong. And not to say it was wrong, but Willow right now would be great for Mercedes instead of, and no offense to her, instead of Jamie Hayter. You know what I mean? Like, Willow winning the TBS championship is something I could easily see happening. Willow being the first one to beat Mercedes makes sense.
Easy, yep.
But now you kind of already did it and kind of shot that bullet.
Yeah, it would be a rerun, which would already have to kind of address the first one.
Exactly. All right, so let's keep it moving. From there, we get into some in-ring action. We get everyone's favorite bald wrestler, Ricochet, and he goes up there against Angelico, which is good to see Angelico. We got kind of a couple day one guys on tonight's episode, but we get Angelico. Ricochet
He's
gets
wearing
the
his
victory.
day one gimmick, though.
Oh yeah, well, good for him. He's doing which his gimmick would make sense, right? You think I'm changing? No.
Well, it's similar. It's Rob Van Dam-esque in like, this is who I am, man.
Yeah. Deal with it, right?
Yeah.
So Ricochet gets the victory again. We had a good old wrestle here, right? Wrestle. He's bald. Wrestle.
A lot of
Ricochet
whirly
gets the
gigs
victory.
And, spinaroos and
And he gets the victory, and then he gets on the microphone. He's like, "Oh, boo! All you want."
This is all good stuff too.
Yeah, and he's like, "I would boo too if I lived in Detroit and had to be a Lions fan." And then they're like, "Eagles suck," and he's like, "They won the Super Bowl."
Yeah, didn't the
so
Lions lose their first playoff game too this year? Like, didn't they lose in the? Or did
Yeah.
They win? Yeah, I think they
No,
got
they-
beat, right? Weren't they like
yeah,
the
they got-
one seed too? And like fucking.
Yeah. Old baby hands.
Oh, and their
Zach-
coach then would have cried, right? He probably cried after that, right? That's what he wants to do.
Well, he likes to bite kneecaps and get crazy. He likes to do all the emotions.
No,
so.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying crying's bad, right? But he
No.
does
I'm
it
just
all the
saying,
time.
like, he does all the emotions.
Yeah,
he doesn't
exactly,
just
'cause
do one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he very rides the emotions. So when he's sad, he's sad.
Very, very sad. So afterwards, Ricochet identifies Zach Gowen in the crowd, and he goes, "I used to love Zach Gowen." Which, side note, no, you didn't. No one did. No
You
one
love
did.
the idea of what happened to Zach Gowen and why it happened. Not that you love Zach Gowen. You didn't have a Zach Gowen poster, dude.
You loved watching him get F5'd into the ring
That's what I
post
mean.
and thrown down the steps in a
Yeah.
wheelchair by
You love
Brock
hearing that like
Lesnar.
it wasn't supposed to be him, right?
Yeah, right.
But
Which
that's it.
credit to him for getting like a somewhat okay career out of a
Yeah,
mistake.
exactly.
Good for him. Yeah.
Capitalizing on it, yeah. All the
So
way to right here, right here today
right
for one
here.
more
So
run. Yeah.
Ricochet uh, is just poking fun at him, saying, you don't have a leg to stand on, all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Security kind of does a hey, let's not do anything here. And then Ricochet just bops him with the microphone. Bop, bop, bop.
This was one of the worst. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the other two stood there like, "Hey, man," and then bopped. It was like Three Stooges
Yeah.
almost.
Especially the third one. You could say the second guy was shocked.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
by the third one,
You don't even try to duck and weave
Yeah.
this thing. You're out there to commandeer him. You know what?
yeah. And so Ricochet takes him out, and then he grabs one of the guys and puts him into the ring, and he's gonna,
Make him
mollywop this guy in the fucking ring. And
Yeah.
Zach Gallen gets in there and is like, "Hey,
Yeah. Mhm.
what the fuck do you think you're doing here?" And Ricochet's like, "Hey, sorry." And then kicks his good leg, steals his prosthetic leg, and then walks out
Yeah,
with
you got to
it.
kick the good leg. You're not going to kick the prosthetic. You kick
Man.
the good leg. He knows how to balance on the good leg. You got to kick the good leg. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could break the prosthetic though.
Yeah, but that's
You
what I'm saying.
know?
Like he probably knows how to like maintain some
Yeah.
balance on the one, right?
Yeah.
But if you
you're
take
probably
that
right.
one out, he ain't knowing how to.
Yeah.
You know, he
That's
going around. This is terrible. Jesus,
I mean, he had to afterwards because
he did.
Ricochet took his
Ricochet took the
leg,
leg.
prosthetic leg, and was like, "See
He
you,
like
bitch."
kneeled and was like hopping with it. And shit.
Yeah.
Ricochet, man, this is some of the best heel stuff in the business right now, isn't it?
I love him. I think he's great.
so
I think
good.
he's doing.
I didn't know he had it in him. It's great.
Yeah, I think he's been doing really great. I think this was also really good because after the swerve, and then he's still pseudo doing because he was on Wednesday night, he was in a trios match with the Young Bucks. So he's still kind of there, but he didn't have any real direction. At least now, as it was announced later in the night, next week on Beach Break, we're going to get Zach Gallen versus Ricochet. So who knew Zach Gallen was going to get an AEW match? You know what I
I'm saying,
mean?
like one last run, man.
Yeah,
It's-
good for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got that
I
out
feel
of
like
the
we
way.
need a 30 for 30 now on this, on Zach Gowen.
We might. Oh, I missed something. That's what I kept on trying to find something. Here I go. I just found it here. One thing before the Ricochet and Angelico / Ricochet Zach Gowen, we saw the Paragon. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong.
Well, now they have
talking about.
shirts.
Yeah, and they're talking about, oh, we were sad. And then the grizzled young veterans are like, we'll fight you.
I forgot they were here.
So did they probably. Like, oh, what? I got a ticket? Okay, I guess I got to show up at this town.
I forgot they were there. And I think they're good enough. You know what I mean? Like they're okay, but it's just, I don't know, you know?
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. They're a British worse version of FTR. They're not.
Or they're the British Timu version of DIY.
Ooh, good call.
Mm-hmm.
Side note. What did you say they were? Of what version?
Timu.
What the fuck is that?
It's a website where it's like a sale, like you buy stuff.
Like eBay.
Yeah, well, and it's not even that. It's like you buy new products, but they're generally cheap,
Oh.
shitty products.
I keep reading the name, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I always
think-
go like, I should
I
look
think
it up.
what it
but
probably
then I don't.
really is like they're selling these cheap, shitty products because they're just trying to get your data, you know.
Oh, good. Right? Isn't that awesome?
But in that
good
everybody, that's what it all is.
Side note. Found a little loophole. If you want to use it, feel free. If you do want to sign up for something, because say you want to like see an article, right? But it says, put in your information, put the name of the company that you're filling out the information for, so that when they sell your data and you get a spam text message, you'll know who it came from. So for example, if you say you wanted to watch the New York, or you wanted to read a New York Times article, right? And they say, put in your information, put your first name is New York, last name Times. And then If they sell your information, they're going to say, hey, New York Times, want to join the local gym down the street? And you're like, motherfucker. And then that's how you know those are the dickheads. There you go. Little fun little
They're all
tidbit for
dickheads.
you. Yeah, but you know what I mean? There you go. You at
Yeah,
least
but you don't
find
know
out who
which
they
dickhead
exactly.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. All right, let's get back into the swing of things for tonight. The Don Callis family
Mm-hmm.
of Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero took on the Outrunners,
Amongst others.
Bandito, and AR Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? What'd you think of this?
Feels like the new age conglomeration. Um, yeah, fine. The Don Callis family, which first of all is 25 people now. I will give it this. All the characters feel unique. Like there's not a whole lot of like two guys alike in the Don Callis family.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lance Archer doesn't look like Takeshita, who doesn't
Right.
look like Trent, who doesn't look like Kyle Fletcher. Like,
Right.
yeah,
It's all,
I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But it still feels like they're kind of in this like lower mid card. Some of the guys aren't, but like Don Callis, they still feel like when he comes out, it's at that like kind of, like it just doesn't feel like you could be getting more out of him, right? Like he could be in a more elevated spot.
And I think you should, because go back to Wednesday night when he came out to cut his promo on Osprey and Hangman, you couldn't barely hear him. Use
which
that.
we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, but like use that for the main event.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You seem to recognize with FTR that you need a little talking help and heel help. You've got Don Callis. So,
well,
you know what
you
I mean?
got
Like,
Kyle
you don't need to be with
Fletcher,
FTR,
or,
but like,
excuse me.
But yeah. But
Yeah,
Kyle
you
Fletcher
got
too.
no, but you got Stokely Hathaway is who I'm saying. Stokely can talk
Right.
for FTR.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
for FTR, but like for other people, like you're saying, like if we got somebody in the main event who maybe isn't, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Got all
Yeah.
the chops. Don Callis. Let's get him a true main eventer up here. I know we tried to flirt with Kyle Fletcher getting some
We
rub
did.
up there, but
Well, and that's the only disappointing thing, and disappointing may be too strong of a word, but this is the only thing I kind of disliked from the whole thing. So the Don Callis family defeats the Outrunners, Bandito, and AR Fox, right? But this is the perfect time. Look at this. I'm just looking at it right here on this rundown here. This is what you could have easily done. Set up the Outrunners versus Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, right? Tag teams versus tag teams, because Roppongi Vice, they're an established tag team. Outrunners need something to do. So there you
I
go.
do.
And then Ring of Honor needs a little shot in the arm. As you mentioned, we were trying to say maybe Kyle Fletcher is going to be that top tier shit. We'll have him do at least a top tier thing. Have him go for the ROH championship against Bandito. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
boom, boom, right there. There you go. Now we got
Kyle
some things.
Fletcher's ROH champion would be not
Yeah.
terrible.
And if you want to just do like, okay, well, let's all get them involved. Well, then you still have Lance Archer, AR Fox. You could do that at anytime you want. You know what I mean? Like, set things up. Obviously, I'm not a booker or whatever, but my philosophy is the theater philosophy of a gun on stage. If you ever see a gun on stage in theater, it goes off. In my opinion, if you ever see a wrestler who's not enhancement talent, right? Like those aside, then the next thing has to happen.
Right.
Like nothing happened out of this. Like that's, if you're gonna do it, you saw probably the clip from the South Park guys when they were talking about scripts, and they were like writing stuff and they're like, but and then it's like, no. This happens. Why? That happens. Like, that's how wrestling, I think, should be. That's a good story.
I've read a couple of screenwriting, like textbooks and books and all that. And same thing. It's like before you go writing dialogue and mapping that out, you should have already mapped out who this character is, what's their backstory, what is their purpose, what's driving them, what's the setting, where are they interacting, what's happening next, what's the plot. Like, so when you're writing this moment in time, you're not making it up as you go along. You're telling a part of a larger story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you put it here, and then you can allude to those next things.
It's called I believe they called it this, and maybe I'm misremembering it, but it's the and then theory, right? Trent Beretta, Lance Archer, Kyle Fletcher, Rocky Romero defeated the Outrunners, Bandito, AR Fox, and then you got the Outrunners versus Run. Like, that's how it should be instead of, all right, and then, okay,
Yep.
like that's, I don't like that, but
Yeah.
that's my thing. Okay, what do we get next? Oh, a pre-tape promo. John Moxley talking about how excited he is to beat up Samoa Joe inside a steel cage. You excited for this match?
I'm excited for this match. Right now, I don't feel like we're having Samoa Joe win the world title. But I also feel like, God damn, we can't. What are we doing here with this fucking storyline? So maybe we are, because like this is dead now, right? How many times can John Moxley give the same promo here, really, right? Like he says a different promo each week, but like it's the same feeling now.
Yeah.
This is the Tom Petty of promos at this point, right?
The AC/DC song.
They're different songs, yeah, but like, and you can tell it's which song it is when you hear it, but like they all kind of,
if you were to hum it,
they all kind of, yeah.
If you were to hum it, you're like, I couldn't tell. But if you know it when you hear it.
It's kind of like Taco Bell. It's like they can make different things with all the same ingredients, but it's all the same ingredients, right? It's all meat, cheese, beans, and whatever. And like, it just feels different, right?
So here's my, not prediction, but maybe what I'm looking into, and maybe it's completely wrong, and it probably is. But I found it interesting this week that on the social medias, we saw Darby Allin just out of the blue. Hey, he did a kickflip at the highest summit point in the world or whatever it is, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Right. He set a Guinness Book World Record, which here's the Guinness Book World Record of the highest quick trip cup held on a podcast. Like, we're just making shit up, but it's a Guinness Book of World Record. What I found interesting is the timing. Hey, you haven't heard of him since he got thrown downstairs.
Look, he's on a mountain, right? Like he's nowhere near. Right.
And so John Moxley defeats Samoa Joe. We get a little crazy. Who comes in to save the day? It's a returning Darby Allin. And then that, kind of like what I said, would be who John Moxley loses title to.
I'm going back to when somebody in the chat was like, Darby's not climbing the mountain until this time, and he has to recover afterwards. And you were like, Darby Allin's going to recover? You're like, he'll be there the next night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He got hit by a fucking bus and was like, where do I go? Like, to the hospital. He's like, I got a show to make. Like, no, motherfucker.
Man, get a skateboard. I got to get down to the arena.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. No way.
Skateboard back down Everest to get here in time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so that's but I am excited because I do think it's going to be memorable in the same sense that the Copeland Moxley match on Dynamite was, where it's like, we got a t-shirt out of that. We got a moment. We got it going viral. I think maybe not exactly that, but something to the effect of, oh, these guys might legitimately try to kill each other because they probably like each other so much in real life. You know what I mean?
I'll give Moxley this. He knows how to like hit that camera shot of like, I've been scorned, right? Like, you son of a bitch, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get that visual, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I think to your point, I think John Moxley probably ends up winning, but I feel like, again, complete gut feeling here, we might see a Darby Allin. But we'll see. Next up,
picks coming up soon. This is coming up.
Yeah. Well, that's Beach Break. We do got Double or Nothing coming up at the end of the month. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That'll happen before the picks. That's true. But this will be coming back to you.
Nope. Keep that.
Look at that. Yeah.
Nope.
Slap nuts. Waiting for you. It's all folded up, waiting for you.
I'll tell you what. Only thing worse than that is this new gimmick of Anthony Bowens, the 5-tool player.
Yeah, man, this ain't it, right? I don't know.
No. Here's the thing that I don't like. I'll let you go, but just real quick. Here's the only thing I don't like. Stop. You're doing two things. You're saying I'm the 5-tool player, but also I'm the pride of pro wrestling. But you're just dipping your toe in the pride of pro wrestling. What does that mean?
Yeah, we know what it just means. To be a wink thing, like that ain't it. lean into that. You better
That's-
wear a rainbow and fucking, you know what I mean?
Or just say, like, this is who I am. Like, I am
But that's
someone...
what I mean. Like, make this part of the flag waving here, right? Like,
Yeah.
be like, I'm here to represent, motherfucker.
Yeah. And you don't have to do it the Effie way, which I think is a little bit...
I didn't mean to be disparaging and say, like, wear a rainbow. I don't mean to cartoon it up if you don't want to, but, like,
right,
you know.
But what I'm saying is, like, Effie... I like Effie. But I also get a little aggravated with him because I feel like he makes gay men kind of a caricature where it's, oh, but now I'm on my knees. Oh, I'm gonna suck your dick. And it's like, hey, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, stop that. That's some 1996 gold dust shit. You know, you want to talk about stuff that should stay in the 90s.
Right.
That should stay in the 90s. This fucking, I'm gay shouldn't be a fucking boogeyman of pro wrestling. Like, get the fuck on.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So Anthony Bowens takes on Lee Johnson. He picks up the victory. I guess the big thing that we got out of this was we're still scissoring.
The whole thing here too is with the 5-tool player, right? So even let's say if they're like, hey, listen, we kind of want to see how people react to this Pride of Wrestling thing before we go all in. So, you know what I mean? We're gonna do this 5-tool player thing. Neat. Okay, so listen, I'm not a baseball guy. I had to Google what the fuck it meant and see that it was a baseball term. You knew what it was. Some baseball fans will know what it was. But that doesn't mean anything in the context of this pro wrestler. So you told me what it means, or I know what it means. Cool. That doesn't make me want you to win more when you take on Lee Johnson. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you a personality. It doesn't give you a character.
Yeah, because a babyface or a heel could have 5 tools of whatever it is.
It's attribute. Yeah, you just told me like some physical attributes of a wrestler, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
What if I told you like my gimmick is I'm a 99 on Madden? Like, okay, cool. Like,
right, yeah.
So why do I care then that John Moxley wants to beat you up? Like, I don't care. Yeah, it's not enough, man. It's like it's like, oh, neat, I see what you did there, but that doesn't get you over, right? Like,
I don't think so. But we'll see. It's still early. Maybe like you said, they're maybe just saying, hey, we're gonna say it a couple times, see if anyone catches on. If they do, awesome. If not,
he looks like $1 million. The guy looks like a fucking action figure, like he was fucking molded. Like
that's one of the 5 tools. If you heard what he said,
true.
Right, yeah. Here's the other thing though with Anthony Bowens that it's a touch disappointing for me is I'm glad that he doesn't have the generic wrestler guy music. The you know, he's got Jane's Addiction. He's got Jane's Addiction as a song, which fucking rules.
Which does rule.
But then we're not doing anything with that either, you know?
But somebody has to call him a 5-inch tool, right? And be like, oh, sorry, did I say that wrong? Sorry.
MJF. MJF needs to call him a 5-inch tool. Yeah.
5-inch tool.
But yeah, if you have
what are you, the 5-inch tool player? Right? Like, what are you?
But if you have Jane's Addiction as your song, you got to do something better than early 2000s WWE Velocity look.
And look, I don't know what the real life backstage thing is. If like they're like, you ride with Billy Gunn, he's going to mentor you up. We don't need this anymore. The Billy Gunn being his valet is not.
It's just to do this. It's just to do the scissor.
But, again,
but even then,
if we need that to get him over, like I don't.
Well, but everyone, you know, I would say, here you go. Get rid of Billy, as you would say. Bring in someone to do the scissor with you, right? Someone buys a VIP ticket, right? They do this stuff. You'll see it on their website and all this stuff where it's like, if you buy a VIP ticket, you get a picture with the championship on the stage.
You get a
right?
scissor, the pride of pro wrestling.
Hell yeah. Wouldn't you think that was awesome? Like, hey, of the 5 of us here, is there anyone uncomfortable with it?
They come up and then we fucking like on camera right in front of everybody and we get the photo op and all that.
Yeah. And then you do it during the show. Boom, right
That's
there.
What I mean, yeah, like right on fucking.
Yeah.
You're sitting there front row, like where they sit Tech 9 or whatever, right? And you fucking, you know, they come over and they're like, and here's our 5-tool player scissor fan of the night and fucking.
Yeah. Promote that shit.
Or scissor star. Or, whatever.
I like this. Yeah. That's not bad. Okay. So then after this, we get a fight for some reason. The Gates of Agony call out the Learning Tree. Yeah.
ripping shirts off.
I don't remember why though.
Yeah, I don't either.
But they
The
hate
Learning
each
Tree
other.
beat them, right? Did they beat them? No, they didn't beat them. Who beat them recently when
I
they
think
were
it was
like,
them. I think it was
what
Learning
was it, the
Tree.
Hurt Syndicate?
Hurt Syndicate said we want to be hurt, and they're like, "Well, then we'll do that." But then I
Good.
think
Yeah, right. Yeah.
then I
Okay.
think the Learning Tree did beat them up, and this was fun. I will say, Big Bill, we already did the spot with you in Powerhouse where
Mm,
you get speared off the ramp into a table,
yeah.
so it doesn't really hit that hard the second
No.
time.
Well, and I think there's something and some things you can do with Big Bill, and I think people want to be
Oh
behind
yeah,
the Big Bill,
oh yeah.
but it ain't gonna be with Brian Keith, and it ain't gonna be with Jericho. And so, like, it's time to do something different with the Big Bill. But there's money there.
Mm-hmm.
He's marketable. He's got enough charisma to handle his own up there and not look
Mm-hmm.
like a complete dumbass on the spot. And I think people are behind him, right? I mean, he's, you want to cheer this guy.
I'll just say, going to Wednesday night on Dynamite wouldn't have been cool if when the Hurt Syndicate said, "Where's the tag teams that want to face us?" Learning Tree comes out and they're like, "We beat you already." And it's like, "Well, we got victories." And then the Gates of Agony take out Big Bill, which then leaves Brian Keith all by himself. MJF jumps Brian Keith because that's a
Mm-hmm.
chicken shit thing to do. And we lead to the Cowboys. Way cooler than read off my wrist top
Yeah.
flight.
So he's also mad at the MJF, as is the Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
And so
And then you get
two
Bandito, and then
Cowboys,
there
and
you
then
go.
Bandito also, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, let's just jump ahead or jump back real quick. Top flight. And also, the here's the other thing that didn't make sense about the segment. I instantly knew, Tim. I almost said it, like almost like FaceTimed you or whatever. Instantly, as soon as uh the little guys came out,
Oh yeah, Crew.
the crew, yeah. As soon
Yeah.
as they walked out before anyone else, and then Hurt Syndicate says, "Where's the tag teams?" Fucking duh, it was Top Flight. You did that all wrong.
Yeah.
You have Hurt Syndicate come out. Who wants some? Top Flight. Top Flight says, "We'll fight you." By the way, fuck you, Crew. Then we see Crew, and now it all makes more sense.
Yeah.
You did it all
Or you
fucking
had to have
wrong.
put Crew out there earlier, right? Like way
Yeah,
earlier.
way
and
earlier.
pulling
Yeah.
the fucking big time. Like, look at us in our box seats or whatever, right?
Yeah, but just them walking out randomly, and then
You just mean mugging fans, even just walking through, like,
yeah,
don't touch me. Like,
and then also just then walked away.
then they're gone. Yeah, exactly. So why did they, like, they knew something about to happen here.
Yeah.
And
So
look,
dumb.
Top Flight.
Hey.
Look, I don't know how you do this for several years and still can't have a half believable promo. It kind of baffles me with Mercedes Moné. I'm like, you've been doing this decades now.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't speak in a conversational tone like you're not reading a fucking cue card in your mind?
Yeah. Make them heels and add them to Stokely Hathaway. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. Stokely's the tag team
I don't
guy.
want to be too mean. I'm not trying to be a shithead and the guy on the internet just shitting on everything, but like, it's not like they were not believable in any of that, right? Like, it was just hard to get through. It's hard to get
And
through. And then just to see that it really didn't matter anyway. That it was just to set up MJF beating him up. It was
yeah.
like, oh, poor Top Flight.
Well, and one other thing that I've noticed that I get it because you're saying, I'll make them better kind of thing. However, if I was a producer or, whatever position, I might take MVP and step him to the side and be like, "Hey, I get it that you think ad-libbing and all of that's cool, but when Top Flight is legitimately probably, I'm making this up, but I'm going to guess it's probably true.
Mm-hmm.
When they're intimidated to talk to Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin, they don't need you fucking cutting them off and stuff
Yeah,
in the
exactly,
middle
yeah.
of it. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
I get
man.
It's
We're
in
a
character. The
team.
character would do that, right? Character
Yeah,
would
but
start
we're a
poking at him,
team
but,
here.
yeah, exactly.
Because he did that. Because he did that to Brian Keith and Big Bill. Remember when Big Bill was starting to get like flustered because he's like, "You're not
Yeah.
fucking letting me say my shit." And it's like, Hey,
Well, Copeland did it to Ricky
Ricky
Starks, and that's
Stark.
what pissed Ricky Starks off, and we haven't seen him again.
Well, apparently, from what his point of view, that's what pissed off Adam Copeland and ended his push because that was the
Mm.
last time you saw him. And apparently, Adam Copeland was like, "We don't like that guy," and I was like, "I think we do, but well, whatever." Um, all right. So after the beat up segment here from Gates of Agony
Yeah.
and Learning Tree going back to Collision tonight, we get a Haas fight. Former best friends turned rivals turned best friends again. We get
Turning best
Chris,
friends again.
yeah, we get Chris Statlander taking on Willow Nightingale. And boy, did they try to beat the skin off of each other. They were smacking and punching and kicking.
Well, you
God
almost
damn.
had to here when, like, we've been hinting at, hey, these two are going to address this again. But this came about quick where the match was just like, all right, let's do this tonight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, oh, okay, shit.
Yeah.
Or what was it, Wednesday night, right?
It was
And
Wednesday
then,
into Thursday. Yeah.
And then, but, so yeah, you can't pull up on just like a match for this, right? This had to be pretty hard hitting, and they delivered.
And their last match is an all-time classic.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think it's Chicago, right? Chicago street fight. I never know
Yeah.
what city it was in, but the street
Well, hear
fight
me
that
out.
they had.
With Chris Statlander, that's kind of the calling card at this moment because she's another one of those where we're not going to give her a mic and let her start going live and cutting long-winded promos, right? Especially if we don't have a manager for her. So these matches better bring it. I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she does. Also, one thing that doesn't really work in her favor is very similar to how I felt we kind of shot the bullet of Mercedes versus Willow. We kind of shot the bullet really quick of Statlander versus Megan Bain. And when you kind of look like the lesser than of the strong women,
Now what are you?
now what are you? Yeah. So
Second strongest woman in AEW. Right. Yeah. Well, and similar to how you said with the 5'2" player who is the pride of pro wrestling, what are we doing with Chris Statlander? She still got some makeup on her, like she's an alien, but she's just a strong lady. And then she just opens up and is a person. It's like, what are we doing? We don't really have a defined what Chris Statlander is.
I agree. The story is making sense, right? Statlander's mad that she.
Yeah, I like the story.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree to what you're saying is what she is.
Yeah.
We don't really couldn't.
And
say.
I do like I like how they played this off when she was like when Statlander was like now, this is going back to Wednesday though, I guess, right? How they set it up when she was like, hey, you know, you won't talk to me back there, so we're gonna do it right now. And she was like, no, actually, I don't think we are. Like, I don't want to. Like, and then she was like, you know, like I get what's happening. I get that you're sorry, and I get that like you're upset that you lost the Owen, but like, gee, remember when I could have won the Owen, and it was you? Fuck you, right? Like,
right.
But then just came back, but you know what? If you're wanting to fight, like then we can fucking. Yeah, I love Willow. Loved Willow.
Willow's
that was
best.
mostly cared by Willow, but Statlander played out too. She was kind of like fucking yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
We've
I
established
your
I was a
boyfriend.
bitch. I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Whatever. Okay.
Right.
Whatever.
But he was
all
a
right.
dick. We both know that now.
Yeah.
All right.
So
let's
come
fucking,
on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Win,
he was
win.
a 5-inch tool. We both figured it out.
Yeah. You know, he was a jerk. Yeah. I'm not responsible for my actions. It was him.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Things would have been cool if he wasn't an asshole, right?
But with this match, it ends when Marina Shafir does. I legitimately laughed out loud. So, fun fact about tonight: I watched Collision on my phone because my wife. We're big basketball fans. We've been watching the NBA playoffs. I was like, "Hey, I want to watch Dynamite." She's like, "Fine, watch Dynamite." And then I told her, I was like, "Oh, and by the way, then tomorrow, is going to be Collision." And she goes, "I don't want to watch wrestling again." So I watched it on my phone, and we had the NBA playoffs up. Right? It was Minnesota versus Golden State. Right? But all that to be said, I was watching it on my phone, and I audibly went, "What the fuck?" When Marina Shafir grabs the chain and chokes Willow, which is fine. And then the exclamation was a half kick to the ribs.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Because it would suck to be choked out with a chain, Tom. But would it also suck to be choked out and get kicked in the fucking ribs? Just for extra, right? Don't think about fucking getting up and trying to breathe also. Even if you catch your breath, it's going to hurt. Like, thanks. So that's it.
Things.
Right as you try to catch your breath, all of a sudden, you're going to have sore fucking ribs, broken ribs and shit. So this extra suck.
Of all the things.
I thought you would have appreciated this, Tom. This is extra
No,
balance.
no, well, here's the thing. Because of all the things at your disposal, when an unconscious enemy of yours is right there, you think, yep, kick to the ribs.
Kick to the ribs.
Not a punch. Not a kick. No, not a punch to the head. Yep.
Crack a rib.
Yeah. And she didn't even get the rib. She kind of got more of her elbow. Fuck was that?
Sometimes you don't think when you're angry, Tom. You just fucking
She's so awful at pro wrestling. She's awful.
Yeah.
She's bad. Look, I love Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's one of my all-time favorites. He sees something in her that, my friend, isn't there. It's not there. We need to stop it. And maybe I'm wrong in a year from now. But for right now, she needs to be on Ring of Honor and staying there and just
I
work
don't feel like she's actually added much to this Jon Moxley's group storyline. We haven't built her up for anything. What's the match? Like, I don't,
I guess it's Willow, right? Because they keep having this feud. But to your point, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, whatever, but hypothetically, if you had Renee Paquette do wrestling practice for 6 weeks, she could do everything better than what Marina Shafir has been doing in the Death Riders, and it's more believable because it's a husband and wife, right? Like, yeah, you're probably losing an amazing backstage interviewer, but right there, you know what I mean?
All right, here it is. Marina Shafir gets this kayfabe if we want, gets injured, has to go away, and Jon Moxley's like, "Fuck! Well, now what we got to do? We got to replace Marina," and in walks in to volunteer Harley Cameron. And we get Harley Cameron doing the Sami Zayn bloodline thing.
Yeah. Feel the wrath.
The goddamn
we don't say that.
Death Riders. Yeah. Feel the Death Rider wrath. And it was like, God damn
it. Get on. We're going for a ride. We don't fucking do that here.
Yeah. But she'll still come out and like just near murder somebody and they'll be like, okay, all right, I guess. Hey, fucking small, but she's vicious.
I'm glad she's on our team.
I don't know what the puppet is, but like I fucking
and it's an emo puppet now, right? Like
it's got to be a Yuta puppet. It's
that's what I'm saying. The Yuta like emo
full
puppet.
Beard.
Yeah, and she always tells Yuta to get on for a ride. Get on. Yeah. I'm not doing.
Let's
this
go, Yuta.
Yeah,
it's
get
always
on.
Yuta. She's bossing Yuta around. Mox's like, I do that.
But get on, okay? Like,
yeah, but do what she says. It's actually a good idea. You ride with her.
Yeah. Be great. All right, let's keep it going on tonight's episode of Collision. We get some more Don Callis family. This time, it's Takeshita and Josh Alexander. They beat up the Dark Order. What?
Josh Alexander. This is going to sound bad. You know, we hadn't known much about the guy. We'd heard the name, we'd seen him. I'd only ever seen him in the headgear. And I was like, you can't be coming out in the headgear all the time, brother. That looks weird. It already looks weird with you wrestling in it. Can't be wearing it. And now he's been coming out without it for the promos. And I'm like, oh shit, you look more weird. You should put that gear back on, dog. I don't know. I see now why you wear that gear.
It's the same reaction you have when Kevin Nash told Rey Mysterio after he made him take off the mask. He goes, you know what? Put it back on.
Yeah, you know what, brother? You should... I remember when that Rey Mysterio thing happened, I was like, oh, shit, that's what he looks like? I didn't...
Yeah. And then Kevin
Nothing
Nash,
like I would have imagined. Yeah.
Put it back on. Put it back on.
Like,
yeah.
Looks like an 8-year-old kid.
But they beat up the Dark Order here. And that's essentially because let's go back to Wednesday night's Dynamite. We have Hangman come out, kicking off the show. And Hangman's like, hey, I want to thank you guys because the last 2 years haven't been great person. But, you know, I closed the chapter on Swerve. That's why I entered the Owen. And so now this is for me to, you know, get my redemption. Well, here comes old Willie Ospreay. And Willie comes out there and
Will
says,
Ospreay.
he goes, "Hey, I thought you were the best. One of my favorite moments in AEW was you leading the Dark Order," which is why tonight they beat up the Dark Order. Again, in storyline, they never actually made up after Hangman kind of told him to fuck off, but we'll set that aside. Um, but Will Ospreay's like, "So yeah, that was awesome. And you know what, man? That's really cool that you're doing all this shit. But fuck you. Because you know what's been happening when you've been crying in your beer? I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing all this shit. I saw the meet and
I
greets.
did the
I did the
medias.
media. I
Yeah.
did
Mm-hmm.
this. I did this." Which, hey, brother, I get what you're saying, but meet and greets don't feel that great if you like, "This is a fucking shitty part of my job."
I've been
Like,
doing this. Which I mean, I get
yeah, but
it,
you know
but
what I
like you don't
mean.
say it. Right?
Yeah.
Well, and I also on that one, I just thought, fine words, but why were you mad about it? Right? Like, why were you angry and running the ropes like you were the warrior? Because you came out, you were like, "Look, Hangman, you were one of my favorites and everything, the thing." But like, but unfortunately, like, it makes more sense. It's like, but unfortunately, like, this ain't about you now, right? Like a
Yeah.
little more just normal conversation. Like, Hangman didn't personally insult you with this,
Mhm.
right? Like, why
Yeah.
were you mad at him about? Why were you screaming, bruv? Right? Like that made no sense to me, right? Like
I
that
get,
part, I was
yeah.
like, calm it down, Bill. Like,
Yeah, the
let's.
tone didn't
Mm-hmm.
make sense. Because yeah, to what
Yeah,
he said is like, "Hey, yeah, if he would have said it like this, where hey, you know what
right.
happened when you were crying in
Yeah,
your beer?"
a little cockiness and some swagger to it of
Mm-hmm.
just like,
Yeah,
sorry, pal, right? Like,
yeah.
wish you the best of luck, but like, know that when I beat you, it wasn't personal. But
Mm-hmm.
like, this is my time because I've been the one doing this, right? You can have a little resentment. I'm not saying to but the furious anger of like
Yeah,
I can't stand still and I'm shaking. It was like, no, you're
yeah.
not, man. You're not mad
Right.
at him like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But they kind of have this whole thing to where Osprey ends with, "It's not your redemption, it's my ascension." Ah, cool alliteration, right?
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the Don Callis family comes out, and Don Callis, again, can't get a word in because the crowd is just booing the shit out of him.
Love it.
Essentially, is like, "Osprey, you know how dumb you are? Do you realize who you're standing in the ring with? You're standing in the ring with a psychopath." And Osprey's like, "Wait a minute, am I?"
Yeah.
Like, he kind of
Yeah.
gives a look
Yeah.
like,
He's kind of like,
"Shit."
shit. I mean, I am. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, Don Callis says something to the effect that pisses off Hangman. I don't exactly remember what it was, but Hangman was like, "All right, well, then I'm going to kick your ass." And Osprey's like, "No, you're not."
Big
And
brothers him, holds
yeah,
him
and
back. Yeah.
holds him back and then keeps holding him back. Because at a certain point, the situation's diffused, but he's still holding him.
Well, I think what happened is like he starts holding him back. He starts to say the lines, and the crowd's booing Callis so much that he had to stop. And then he like let it for like ride for a while. Meanwhile, still holding Hangman, who has to do the thing, but he's like, "You got to say the right lines before I can do the thing, right? Before I can take your arm away." And then he just repeated the lines that he already said, right? Like he said it again instead of like picking back up. So yeah, it just kind of took a little extra long.
Yeah, it did take an extra long beat there, but Osprey said, "Any two of your family versus us two," and then it ends with the
Yeah,
shove
Hangman
off.
being like, "Fucking hands off me."
Yeah, and then they kind of look at each other sideways. And at beach break, we're gonna be getting
Yeah,
Takeshita
I
and
just
Josh Alexander versus Osprey and
all of
Hangman.
this felt a little weird to me, right? So again, I was already coming off the like, why are you screaming at him? Why are you mad about this, right? But whatever, I get it, right? You're ramped up. It's live TV, pal. I took my fucking pre-workout. I'm ready to go. But the Don Callis thing, I get he's a heel and he just likes to fuck with people, but like, why did you take time out of your day here to just come out and be like, "Look at you, Osprey, being a nerd again," while he's in there in the ring with Hangman for no reason? Again, we're not told that like they get more money by winning this tag team match or something, or like, so why are you out there fucking with him with two of the top stars that like, yeah, okay, you're confident in your guys, but like, you're not trying to purposely sign up for like, let's have an unannounced tag team match with Hangman and Will Ospreay. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the only thing that, if you wanted this to be the end outcome, the suggestion I would have made was to say Don Callis is going to come out there, but what he's going to say is, "Man, Osprey, it's gonna suck that you're gonna lose to Hangman. And you know
Mm-hmm.
why you're gonna lose to Hangman? Because you left me. And
Mm-hmm.
now look at all my guys. We're
Yeah.
winning everything, and you're gonna
This is
fail.
this is your semi-annual reminder that you could have had it good with the Don
Exactly.
Callis family,
Yeah.
but you chose to be a bum
Yeah. Now you're gonna lose to a
hanging out with
psychopath.
sweaty cowboys for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And it was almost there, but yeah, to your point, he just didn't say really anything. He was just like, "You two nerds," and it's like, well,
Yeah. Look at you being dorks again.
why
Then
didn't
all of a sudden again,
FTR say that?
Osprey's big mad again about it. I was like, man,
Yeah,
Osprey's on a moody tonight.
but in another chapter of Hangman did nothing wrong, you don't fucking hold
Yeah, no. You don't hold me back by my
non-friends
chest
back.
hair.
Yeah,
No, 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 no,
and
no, no.
and you don't know me like that. It'd be one
Yeah.
thing if bald FTR held back hair FTR. Okay, they've known each other
Yeah.
long enough to know, but like,
Right after you told me you're going to kick my ass this Sunday or whatever, like, you don't, you know?
and that you guys have actually never introduced each other or been introduced to each other. So like,
Well, and the thing is, like, yeah, why are you holding me back? You want me to kick those guys' ass, right? Like, why?
yeah,
What if I went up there and started getting my ass kicked by it? Why do you give a shit anyway? Like, we're not
Mhm.
friends, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to wrestle later. You want me sore.
yeah,
Why would you?
doesn't make any sense.
And then just
Little-
sign me up for a tag team match? Like, man, I didn't want to wrestle tonight. I had plans
Yeah.
at the bar.
Can I tell you something that I thought
Yeah.
about after this segment? I don't know who's writing anything of any note, right? Not saying, yeah. I think complete conspiracy theory. I think Tony Khan wrote on a piece of paper, I want Takeshita and Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay and Hangman at Beach Break because it's a Chicago show before a pay-per-view. We want to throw all our
Mm-hmm.
guns in there and shoot them all off at one time, right? And I think Adam Copeland was like, guess how you can do it? Because this felt very WWE. If you were to replace Sami Zayn instead of Hangman,
Yeah, just
and
come
like,
out and say anything. Just insult them. It doesn't matter, like, if it
Yeah.
makes a storyline sense. Just insult them.
but
And
like,
then-
didn't it feel like Adam Copeland may have said, "Hey, this is how you get there, brother"? Because that was a WWE felt segment
good.
outside of Hangman's. Again, exceptional
You guys
acting.
conversing with Jim Ross again?
Yeah, but exceptional acting by Hangman. Anyhow,
Hangman's
let's
good,
get back. Yeah, the best, the best. Let's get back to tonight on Collision. After Don Callis family gets the victory, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Jurlistico Part 2, and Mike Bailey wins, which leads to Roosh, because Roosh is pissed.
Mhm.
As we learned on Dynamite, Roosh is pissed that Mike Bailey cost him 100 grand, and so now you pay with that in blood, motherfucker.
He's getting the horns down better, too.
Oh,
Horns. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
getting it a little, yeah. Less E, more O, you know? He's getting more, yeah.
how are we feeling about Speedball? What's any different?
I feel like it's just another one of these that's going to be, he's going to kind of bounce around. It's going to feel a lot like Mark Briscoe, like the conglomeration, where like, yeah, but there's no story here. There's no character work being done, right?
One sign I saw on Wednesday night when it was Mike Bailey in tag team action against it was Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Swerve versus the Young Bucks and Ricochet. One sign I saw that the camera made sure to show that fucking thing and keep it there for a minute was a sign that said buys for Bailey, because if you watch the Hey EW, he but he, when asked,
Acknowledged, we'll say.
acknowledges his
Right.
sexual preference, and which is he's married to a female wrestler, but he says, whatever. I'm so sorry. Whatever the one is where we like everything. What's that one? Like them all.
Pansexual, I think.
There it is. Maybe. Whatever. I'm
Nailed
sorry.
it.
Yep. I don't care. Just do whatever you want.
I always
Be
try
happy.
to say this, like I don't say I don't care because I'm like, I don't care, fuck you. I'm saying I don't care because, like, whatever, man. Like,
Yeah, that's
whatever.
the tone. Yeah. I'm never saying, oh, fuck
Yeah.
you. Brother, as long as it's consensual, I don't give a shit.
Now, again, if we're having a context of, like, traditionally being that means this negative thing, and we want to discuss that different thing. I'm not going to be like,
Right.
fuck you, I don't care, but like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I,
If you
I'm not
want
going
to
to stop and
shock me,
ask the different particulars of each because, like, whatever, man. Right? Like,
right. And yeah, and also you're not going to shock me by saying whatever it is. Again, as long as it's consensual,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with it. Anyhow,
Like, Jesus
so
Christ.
the
Grew up
thing
with
that
the
I
internet.
noticed,
You think you're shocking me about sexual
Yeah.
stuff? I'm not,
right? Yeah, I lived in the before times and the after times. I'm down with all of this. Do
I'll
you
tell you a story
realize?
about a cup and 2 girls. All right.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Oak Grove 2001. They didn't even have cameras back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Heard of a
But
tub lady?
Speedball Mike Bailey, one thing I was noticing is so they had that sign that said buys for Bailey. I don't know if maybe we're trying to go with that because it was like a, hey, that's a sign, show it, show it. And I was like, it's an interesting. Also, back up real quick. Another thing, speaking about AEW just being a way better fucking company than WWE, that's kind of where I was going to, is last week's Collision. Did you catch when Tony Storm won her match and she's doing this promo and it takes her all the way to the outside?
Yeah.
And she said, what was it? I'm
here,
bi.
I'm queer.
Or I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm queer, and I'm timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Mhm.
Fuck you, WWE, you cunts. But Mike Bailey beats Drillisco. And then we get Roosh. Like you said, let's do something. Again, I would like to know, what does speedball mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you like in the AEW episode, which let's assume every AEW fan has watched AEW, right? Which you should. The first thing RJ City says is, "Are you named after cocaine?" And he's like, "No, no, I'm not." But like, I don't know. That's
He
what the
didn't
first
say
thing I
what
think of.
it was
Yeah.
named after.
Someone
well,
else gave him the nickname because of how he moves around the
Can
ring.
we ask what is the yearly antifungal foot cream budget?
Oh, he gets in that. Watch the episode. RJ said he does great questions. But again,
RJ City's the best.
The best.
RJ City's awesome.
I think, to be honest with you, if you are going to keep Collision on Saturday nights, kind of, especially when we're getting back into football and college football and big UFC fights and boxing and all that stuff, throw AEW in there as a segment.
Yeah.
I'd watch it more often. I mean, I do watch it, but you know what I mean? I'd make sure to like turn it away from.
Give him something else. You give him one of those like, Miz TV style segments.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just a segment like that. It doesn't have to be AEW, but whatever it is, because he's great. But going back to Mike Bailey, explain it. That'd be fun. Try that. All right. Before our main event, it was explained to us that next week, Ric Flair will be part of a tribute to Steve Mongo McMichael. Now, they're in Chicago. Mongo, part of the 85 Bears Super Bowl defense. That's one of the all-time greatest. Unfortunately, he just passed away. He was in the wrestling business as a former Four Horseman. Ric Flair is probably the most famous Four Horseman of all time. You don't have Arn Anderson anymore because you apparently let him walk back to WWE. And I'm saying this is kind of a stretch, but maybe not really, because he was actually a member with Mongo during his Four Horseman time as well. But you got Dean Malenko. I don't think you need Ric Flair.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Look, not even what we all know about Ric Flair now, and the why you stay away from that from a media perspective, but also just Ric Flair isn't good television anymore either, right? Like it's not. It doesn't hit the same way.
It's Pappy telling you about the stories that him and Harley Race had in the 80s. Like,
yeah, it's done now.
Yeah.
It's done now.
And Dean Malenko, you don't see a lot of. Now, apparently, from what I've read, he has some health issues. So if he can't do it, I'm not saying force him, but I'm saying it'd be more of a, oh, wow. Like, I would pay more attention if they said, here comes Dean Malenko. I'd be like, what the fuck is that about? And then if he pays tribute to, again, he was in the Four Horsemen with Mongo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wasn't Jeff Jarrett too? So like,
well, Jeff Jarrett did the thing.
yeah,
Actually,
right.
hold up. Actually, wasn't it?
I wasn't there like a little
Well, so the
fucking.
storyline
He was
was, and
trying to
I,
be a horseman, right? And they were
right, right,
like,
right.
"Fuck out of here."
But the storyline, and I don't know how true this was. Reckless speculation. I'm saying that on the front end. Reckless speculation.
Yeah,
But
reckless.
I think they had another version of Benoit and Kevin Sullivan with Woman, where their storyline had Deborah McMichael with Mongo, but then goes to
Mm,
Jeff Jarrett, and
and then
maybe
yeah,
that happened in real life,
uh,
right? And then Deborah leaves Jeff Jarrett for Steve Austin. Steve Austin and her get divorced, all that stuff. But maybe that's why
yeah.
Jeff Jarrett isn't doing anything with
But
this Mongo
doesn't this
thing.
sound familiar with somebody named Angle too? Like Jarrett,
Hmm.
brother.
Yeah. Now this one is reckless speculation. Obviously, the angle one is well documented. I think though he brought Deborah into the wrestling business because hey, this is my lady, and then Mongo was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, cool, let me say hi," and then she said, "Oh, you're fun," and then never went back to the guitar playing guy. I don't know. That's what I remember. So maybe that's why Jeff Jarrett isn't doing it. Uh, Also, another side note. Did you see the photo from this week's AEW tapings in Detroit? It was your
Which
favorite one. Jeff Jarrett took a photo with someone.
which one? What am I forgetting here?
Oh, he took a photo with the
Oh
rope
yeah, with Monty
sniffing Monty
Brown. Yeah,
Brown.
yeah,
Huh?
that's right, Monty
Oh,
Brown.
one of the
Yeah.
best moments in this show's history when that fucking whatever his name is guy tried to tell me some shit. And then I was like, who's your favorite wrestler? And he said, Monty Brown.
Yeah, you said the guy that sniffs the ropes? And this was not, he didn't say this last year. He said this in 2013 maybe, and that was still well past the Monty Brown time. 10 years past the Monty Brown time then, you know?
Oh, Monty Brown's kids don't even have Monty Brown as their favorite wrestler.
Monty Brown isn't even Monty Brown's favorite
Yeah.
wrestler.
Yeah. You love yourself? I mean, I love me, but I'm not the
Yeah.
best. Obviously, there's other
Yeah,
guys
listen, I
here.
might be top 5, but
Yeah.
like I'm no Ric Flair, you know.
Yeah. I'm on the 3 to 5 level. Yeah. All right. So then we get into our main event. Daniel Garcia versus Dax Harwood. And I didn't get it because we're fighting everywhere, right? Good old
Mm-hmm.
fight, fist fight, boom, boom, boom. Dax Harwood loves to bleed, so he's bleeding. And then we're fist fighting. Get to the crowd, which again, no disqualification at this point, right? And Dax Harwood pushes Nigel McGuinness, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" Prior to that, Matt Menard chased off Cash Wheeler, right? So that happened. Then we get the push from Dax Harwood on Nigel McGuinness. Nigel then was like, well, I'm going to kick this guy's ass. So then he kind of does. And then Daniel Garcia clotheslines him. And in another WWE move, the match just ends in a no contest.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like we're getting another WWE move where we're going to get FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Tony Schiavone with what
Yeah.
happened on Dynamite.
Yeah. But what?
Yeah, I agree. This
Uh-uh.
FTR heel turn is in danger of running off the rails fast because I think we don't have a plan for what I think they were like, we're going to turn heel. And everybody's like, awesome. And do what? And they're like, oh shit, what? Like, and do what?
Yeah.
I mean, like, just be heels?
Yeah. 1 second, actually. 1 second.
Yeah. Look, we're going to talk about it over here.
Yeah. Because I think they're doing too much, in my opinion. Because here they are in this blood feud because Daniel Garcia was one of their guys and they turned on him, which is, again, fine, right? Did it to Copeland. Now they're doing it to Garcia. But that's, in my opinion, getting overshadowed because fuck Tony Schiavone and now Nigel McGuinness. And so, okay, so not to say that you can't do more than one thing at a time. I'm not trying to say like I'm a fish and I can only pay attention to one thing kind of uh, story is what I'm saying here. But who's our real beef with here? Is it Dan
Yeah.
Garcia or is it the commentating team?
Yeah, just like, and why are you guys all, what I mean? Yeah,
It's
it's not
just too
hitting.
much. Yeah, it's just
It's too
too
much.
too
Well,
everywhere.
Stokely's good, but again, there's no real purpose for this. You know?
Stokely needs to be front and center. Stokely needs to be the hey, they made this decision. And essentially, what I would have him say is, now they want to know how to get to the next level. That's where I came in. And then just have him identify
You could
targets.
you could even have it like I would even in the back have them kind of giving him the shit, be like, hey, you said you were gonna fucking,
Mm-hmm.
you said you had the fucking answers. I expect results. Next week I better have a fucking match,
Yep.
right?
You
Or it's
got it,
your
boss.
ass.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Of course, I got it. Big Stoke, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, motherfucker.
Yeah, like a little
Like
bit, not
Cash can keep, like alluding to his fucking pistol hiding in his thing. Be like, look, don't make me
uh,
fucking,
yeah,
don't make me protect myself.
not have it be as much of a piss your pants Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns
Yeah,
kind of
right.
thing, but
Yeah,
where everything was about, I need to make sure that these, in this case,
yeah.
these two guys are at the front.
Look,
That's how
I
Stokely
promise
needs to
them
be.
these results or else. And like, I
Right.
don't want to see what or else is because these guys are
Yeah.
fucking mean, right? Like,
Hmm.
they're going to kill me if I don't do this.
Yeah. So that's where, I don't know.
That's just it. They can just be like, remember, we paid you a lot of money and we expect value from that money. And if it
Mhm.
ain't match value, it's going to be fight value or just something, right? And be like, all right,
Well, and it doesn't have to get
I
that
get it.
like the hostile thing right from the jump. It could be like, ha
Yeah.
ha,
No, I
this
know.
guy got us all this shit. Fuck all
Mm-hmm.
of you. You didn't think we could do it? Ah,
Yep.
ha ha ha. And then once it
Right.
starts to
Yeah. You slow roll it. Yeah. We
yeah,
don't have to
yeah.
be right away, but just that, right? Like, it's just, they hired him to do a job. He's going to do a job. If he's not doing it as well as they expect, that
Mm-hmm.
adds to their heel ability to be like, hey, fuck you, kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so that was Collision. Let's take a look at
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite the previous night. Anything we missed here? Oh yes.
Uh,
Uh,
touching back on that Tony Schiavone thing, though, like, Stokely Hathaway's the one that Tony Schiavone was like, not you, pal.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so many people have
Mhm.
fucked with Schiavone and called him mean things.
Yep.
And the moment he was like, you're a piece of shit, he's like, all right, listen, like, hand on the mic, stood up. Like, I was like, look, pal, I could beat your ass.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, Excalibur and Taz were like, you should have beat that guy up. Like, you should have, like, you should have really hit him.
Yeah. You know how many fist fights I was in at Starbucks when I was there for 2 years? I know how to fucking beat up these kind of guys. You know, oh,
Like,
okay.
listen, I've seen a million people come and go in this industry. You ain't the one, pal.
Yeah.
You're the one I'm putting 10 toes down.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to like I said, Dynamite. Just touch on some quick things. Samoa
Mhm.
Joe took out Claudia. We talked about that. The promo.
It's a good match, though.
Oh yes, it was very good match. Help me with this because I don't have a good brain sometimes. The Hurt Syndicate has legal counsel all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, who was that guy again?
And why are we adding another? Yeah.
And he didn't say like my name. They just said this guy, and they just
Yeah.
walked off.
And just that, like, now we're doing too much because aren't we doing the MJF thing? And he's hurting people. Like, I just don't. I'm a little worried about it. A little worried about
Don't like that. Okada beats up Kevin Knight. Good match as well. Very good match.
it. Yeah, why did Bobby Lashley say, I'll give you my answer next week? I know it's wrestling and we got to get you sell tickets,
Yeah.
but like, what's the. He's still not thumbs upping him, right?
I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like he was about to say like, you beat up Private Party, dog. Like,
Top Flight.
brother. I said, Top Flight. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
he,
Or just say that. Say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Private Party. You beat
Yeah.
up Private
Like,
Party.
It was Top Flight. Be like, same thing. But like Stokely Hathaway could have beat them up. You have Stokely walk by like, what?
Hey.
Like,
You could have. Like, okay.
yeah, be like,
cool.
like even this. So like, come on, man. I said
Yeah.
hurt people, not chumps, right?
Yeah.
Just something like that. Yeah.
Okay, what else? Jamie Hayter sat down with Renee Paquette, ended with Mercedes trying to jump her. Then I
I
did like
still,
the, I will say, I did like the, I'm going to punch you. Oh shit, you're coming after me. I'm running. And then runs to the back. Jamie Hayter does the classic pro wrestling thing of turn to the camera. I'm talking shit because you won't face me. And Mercedes like, I ain't done. Whap. And then gets her again. I did like that part where she's like, I ain't
yeah.
down.
I still, I, for me, I feel like it's been kind of ruined with the Scooby Doo dig that Mercedes Monet threw it
You
at,
can't unsee it.
because you can't unsee it now, and you address it, but just didn't really address it, and like you haven't explained why you're dressing like you're out of a fucking 1970s magazine. Like you
Yeah.
haven't explained it. Like I don't.
Yeah. Why are you at Austin Powers' girlfriend all of a sudden?
You left not that, and you came back that with no explanation. It's not part of the gimmick. You're not time stuck. You're just making a fashion choice in 2025 to dress like it was 60 years ago or whatever the fuck it is now. Like,
yeah, and then keep doing it because he didn't do it 1 week, right? Because that's easy. Hey,
no, it's the
fashion, right?
the whole
You
shtick
do it,
now.
yeah, the whole shtick is this retro
polyester. You know what I mean?
Is she dating like the ghost of Mike Awesome when he was
that 70s wrestler? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Remember
here?
Mike Awesome when he was doing that 70s wrestler? Yeah, it's like unfortunately he's passed away, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, really weird. Here was some
Donna from that 70s show. Like, what are we doing here?
Here was some fun.
It's Hot Donna. That's what you should be now. It's Hot Donna. All right.
I mean, if she tried that a little bit, maybe that's something different. But yeah, whatever she's doing now is it's the hologram, right? Or the Harleygram. It's the Harleygram.
Yeah.
Once I see hologram, all I think of is Harleygram.
Now I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. Now it's Scooby Doo. I want a mystery machine. I want.
Yeah. In their match, Mercedes should come out in a fucking van painted like it.
Machine, like
goes up on the stage.
The whole crew.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, one thing that we did miss that didn't happen on Collision that we should talk about is the Nick Wayne faced someone from Christian's past.
Yeah.
It was Rhino, which was fun.
Yeah.
Nick Wayne gets the victory. It was good, right? Fun, fight. But what do you make of Christian insisting on putting the ROH TV title around his waist, but then last minute, he's like, you know what? I'm going to fold this up, drop it on the ground. Fuck you, kid.
Yeah. I think we're just getting to eventually they're going to start, seeing things less eye to eye, and we're going to get this little battle out.
Yes, I agree. I forgot one last thing. Because this was really quick, in like if you didn't see it, you missed it kind of thing. They do a backstage promo before the Nick Wayne match, right? Mm-hmm. And it's with the Young Bucks, and then Ricochet joins in, and then they're like, "All right, cool, everyone, like we're gonna win the match later."
See you
and
later,
the Young Bucks open up the door, and there's the Death Riders just.
They're sitting in the dark. You kind of can't make them out at first.
Which was really cool. I like that. And just sitting there, and Matt Jackson has a look of like, well, I guess the money's due. Right? Like,
he just kind of, it wasn't even, he kind of looked half annoyed. He was like, something we can help you guys with? Like, what the fuck are you here for? like this can't be anything good, right? Was kind of his like, like this cannot be like, oh, we want to work together with you. Like, it was like, yeah, this ain't gonna go well.
Well, and the cool thing that I thought about that was they obviously didn't get beat up, because later in the night was when we get this trios match, so they're fine physically, right?
They work something out. They discuss something.
Yeah,
it seems that's what they've been asking for. They said, hey, imagine this what they call it, the synergy, the mashup, right?
Yeah, interesting segment. I'm curious to know if that plays into Beach Break. And that's, again, where I think if it does, we're seeing Darby.
Yeah. Another thing we got on the Dynamite here was the MJF Will Ospreay.
Oh, yeah.
Show off there in the set where Ospreay is going to have a little interview with Renee, and then MJF comes up and he's like, "Well, hold on. First of all, let me plug this." He's like, "Get your Dynamite Diamond ring on the fucking AEW shop right now." And what do you say?
Make me
more
richer.
richer and you more poor.
poor.
Yeah, and then I mean, I like the thing here of like, where he got into the like, you're not on the level with the devil, and he's like, well, that's where you got that wrong, bud, because like
I'm on
Will
another
Ospreay
level.
and I'm on another level, which I'm like, you
Yeah.
guys might be saying the same thing though. He's on another level, but you're not on the level with the devil, right? And anywhere that is, same international world title. But I thought that was a good segment.
Well, and it's another one, to the best of my knowledge, that's another matchup where MJF said this shit to Hangman, right? That's why I thought initially he's costing Hangman. Because the thing he said was, we're 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
What him and Ospreay say essentially are, we're 1-1. So he's 1-1 against both Ospreay and Hangman.
So he's gonna come out during this match, and we're like, who's he gonna screw over?
Yeah. I still think it's gonna be Hangman, but now maybe I'm wrong.
What if it's both of them to where they can't go on, and now they're like, fuck, what do we do about this tournament finals match, and like really throw a monkey wrench into things? And then Bobby Lashley's like, okay. Right?
Well,
like,
all right. MVP says, hurt this person, I'll get you in that match. Number one contender match. That's what MJF was wanting this entire time.
So here it's both of them. The fill-in is him.
Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe.
You got Will Ospreay and Hangman like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? Like, yeah.
That's what we're doing. Here's the thing, though. Lastly, about the Hurt Syndicate, the legal counsel thing, again, whatevs. We'll see where that goes.
And it wasn't Mark Sterling? Like, that's...
Yeah.
Come on now.
It should have been Mark Sterling.
Should have been Mark Sterling.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been Mark Sterling.
But who's the tag team? All In isn't next week, but it's also not 3 years from now. So you think you're going to defend the championships. It looks like Double or Nothing's out of the books, right? They're not going to be, at least as of right now.
Top Flight? Are they going to fucking give them a...
But that would be Double or Nothing, I would think. But like, there's no... The land of tag team wrestling, which at one point was the best since the territory days, got cold, but then got heated up a little bit, back to being cold as shit again.
So we also got a Dark Order spotting on Collision.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Dark Order mention on Dynamite. Does this become part of Hangman's after this blip here? Does he move on to having to redemption with the Dark Order?
I'd love it. Yes, I'd love it. That's... Ooh, give me that cowboy vignette again, and I'm all in. Love it.
Dark Order being led by Dark Hangman, to me, just still screams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he turns them dark. Like, he's like, they're like, we'll get you back to the old Hangman. And no, he's so toxic and deep in it that he turns them. And now we're really the Dark Order. All riding on horses.
But here's the thing. We're going to cheer it.
I know we are.
Hangman and Willow. Yeah, Hangman and Willow, I don't think...
Can do no wrong. Yeah.
Can do any wrong.
Like, this is what I said on a previous thing where we had a clip. I was like, it's not that Hangman did nothing wrong. We're at a point where Hangman could do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Hangman could steal my TV and fuck my wife tonight, and I'd be like, listen,
hey,
sometimes people lash out. You know what I mean?
And that was a long ride on a horse. What do you expect?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? What do you think, he was going to be in a good mood?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm saying I understand. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just...
One thing with Hangman when he was saying his essentially like, sorry guys, thanks for being there with me, when he was like, I damn near killed him. And all the crowd was like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like when MJF was like, he burned a person's house down, everybody was like, yeah. Hey, Willow mentioned the sickos. I don't know if you caught that. In her little thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Loved it. Loved it indeed. But yeah, that was AEW for this week. Next week, huge week. Beach break. And then that leads us into Double or Nothing out there in Scottsdale, Arizona. So pretty excited.
I am excited. I'm excited for more AEW coming up. The beach break should be big. They go hard for these name things. I will say this. You got to be careful about having too many name things, because then are we beach break, or are we spring breakthrough, or are we, right? What are we, right? Like, you do too many of them, they kind of lose their luster. But
you need to have big things happen to make them big. If they're just nothings, then I don't give. Yeah.
And I get it. This time of year, you want to do a little more of those, because you're getting people out, you're getting them on. You know what I mean? It's this, late or mid spring into summer. You really want to roll the folks out. So I like it. I like where we're going. There are some story lulls, I feel like, at the moment, but not everything can be A+'s home runs. I think we've got some good stories going, and I'm excited for more. I'm excited for more people to join us next week. We'll probably be at our normal time, right? Unless things happen. But stay tuned to www.allelitewrapup.com for updates. You'll know when we're going to go live. It's completely free to subscribe. We're not selling your data. It's just you get an email once a week saying, hey, we're going live tonight, and you'll know, and you can join us. And hit us up, right? Find us on the Blue Sky, same thing. We're at www.allelitewrapup.com on the Blue Sky. Talk to us. We want friends. Yeah? All right.
Yes.
That's it. We'll see you next week.
Time.